All right, on to the next deck. Mardu, did I tweet? Did I tweet? I tweeted. I tweeted, I quoted. Did I update the stream decker? I did not update the stream decker. Let's do that. So Mardu Hero. So I'm gonna take our expectations and hammer them into the dirt here really quick. This is an archetype that I've had a ton of submissions for. We've played probably half a dozen different archetypes, or half a dozen different iterations of this archetype. And I've been unimpressed with them basically every time we've played them. So here we go again. We've tried iterations with Hero. We've tried iterations without Hero. We've tried Judy. We've tried Midnight Reaper. So we've tried combinations of some of these cards before. This is a new take. We're going to go ahead and just dive into some matches here and see how it feels. I have low expectations going in. This is one where we're going to start in the unranked queue because I'm not certain how I feel about the deck as a whole. I want to feel, does it feel cohesive? Is it too slow? Just jump into it. I've been watching a little bit of Philip DeFranco. There were 2 Banefires in the main deck of this deck, and I might have cut the second one before we started. So moving forward, decks like this that are a little bit more, let's call them experimental or untested, I am going to be playing them unranked in at least a couple matches, and then maybe we'll promote them and play some ranked match with them if they feel consistent and reasonable. But especially an archetype like this, where we've played iterations of it before and I've been unimpressed, I definitely want to play some matches before we necessarily do more. And this has been one of the biggest issues with these Mardu aggressive decks in my experience. While the mana in these decks, you do have a lot of sources, these decks demand so many different colors of mana so early, it's very easy to brick and die like this and just not have your colors. Like, we have lands, but I can't play any of my 2 mana spells. And we tried Glass of the Guild pack. We've not played Glass of the Guild pack in a Judith shell. We played it in an Abzan shell, and it was kind of mediocre there. Mr. Momarto, thank you for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. I have a lot of... I guess there are a lot of humans in here. I don't know. Like, I have actual red spells too, though. The spells in this deck are just very demanding. Alright, so do I Lava Coil this? Or do I think I can just race? They might have protection here. I think I'm just gonna Fireblade Artist and then, like, curve into Tajic. Yeah, that's probably more reasonable. A base 2-color deck splashing a 3rd is generally where you want to be in this format in my experience. Like, these decks that are full on 3 colors and, like, have creature and non-creature spells that demand all of your colors as a mix early in the game tend to really struggle in my experience so far. Alright, gonna get Spell Pierced and curl up in a little ball and cry. I only watch on YouTube, but I figured I'd throw my Bezo dollars even if you're abrasive. Thanks for paying my mortgage, Momoto. Mom Mataro, Mr. Mom Mataro. Thanks for keeping me around. Abrasion and all. So they can turn this into a 5/5 here if they would like. This is a good blocker. Gets to have Death Touch. Deck submissions cost a minimum of $10 for subscribers, and more than that if you're not subscribed. You can find all the details about my deck submission process on my website here. Honestly, at this point, I really feel like for every person that's upset about the way that I present myself and my opinions, there's probably one or two other people that like the way I do things. There's probably even more that are just kind of indifferent to it. And, you know, at any given point, there's 2,000 to 3,000 people that are currently paying my bills for me to do what I do, so I can't be all bad. If he has good intentions, but he's sometimes obnoxious, is what's written on my headstone, I'll probably end up sleeping okay at night. Hopefully they don't have another Lava Coil here. If they have another Lava Coil, we're probably up Poop Creek without a pedal. You're through 2 of them already, so hopefully we can dodge the 3rd. I leave it muted. I'm just here to stare into those eyes. Ugh. That's brutal. So we're hoping to find like a Mortify or a Bedevil. I don't think I have any Bedevils in my main. I'm a fan of my own suffering. There's just people, no one actually likes me. There's just enough masochists in the world. They just want to keep me going. Controversy creates cash. Any publicity is good publicity. You're not wrong. Trust me when I say that Chrissy's job does not pay enough to pay all of you to pay me. You don't write fake apologies on Twitter. Yep. Dead to shock. I kept the Lava Coil in my hand here, so if I draw another Lava Coil, or if I draw Mortify, I can Lava Coil a second threat. Okay. Alright. So you're saying there's a chance. Just like that, they took my hope and they ripped it away. Right up until the dive down. Yep. All right, cast down sounds good. Coil sounds good. Mortify sounds good. Bedevil sounds. We're just gonna like board in a bunch of Doomblades here, huh? A bunch of ways to kill things. Midnight Reaper seems mediocre. Footlight Fiend. Banefire's kind of bad. Give this a try. I don't think this is a Duress matchup. Yeah, I'm gonna put in a couple. They have like dive downs and stuff. To the tune of Seal Away, please time me out. Please time me out. Please time me out right now. Thanks for the 10 months, Orzar. Welcome. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I'm always a fan of the apologies that are, I'm sorry you feel that way. Yeah, those are always like, it's like, oh, why don't you just like not say anything? The I'm sorry I got caught. I'm not sorry about what I did, but I'm sorry you found out about it. Like, why don't you just not say anything? No song needed. I got you. I got you. Does anyone else find the little dance that the Shocklands do kind of weird? It's like, it goes like up, it goes like down, up, back to the hand, and like circles around. I think I actually want to bin Judy here, just because she's pretty likely to eat a removal spell and die, and I think this is an all removal spells on deck matchup. I basically just want to kill all of their things and eventually win the game with whatever I have left over. Your sellout page doesn't say how much it costs to get you to learn the lyrics to take a chance on me. Yeah, the fact that the background noise triggers on all the rare lands, even some of the uncommon ones, I think have background noises that trigger. May I please have my first time out? Don't be shy. We're givers. Welcome to Hoglandia. Enjoy the full experience. If you're not completely satisfied with the violation of your rights after your complimentary timeout, just come back and let us know and we'll try again. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Just out of curiosity, if I won the lottery, how much would I have to pay to see you play the Pokemon card game for a day? Hey, I don't know. I could probably be talked into a sponsored stream of a different game for an entire day for a couple grand. I've actually, if you go back on my YouTube channel, there's actually some videos of me playing Pokemon TCG Online. I actually really like Pokemon as a card game. It's just their digital client doesn't really have any online following, so nobody watches on Twitch. And their paper tournaments are like full of cheaters. Yeah, I actually owned a couple of paper Pokemon decks and like went and played in one of their regional tournaments and like got cheated and then left. Like, so it's like, all right, well that's enough of that. Let's sell these and move along. I don't have anything in my deck that uses these extra lands, right? Geodude. If I won the lottery, you would be a full-time Knife Cat streamer. Rix Maadi actually doesn't need a card in your hand to discard in order to do something. If you want to read about how I got cheated at a Pokemon tournament in, God, 2017, that was 2 years ago at this point. A long time ago. Do 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 do. Man, I remember playing the crap out of the Pokemon TCG for Game Boy Color. All right, do you have 2 bricks? I assume one of these is about to die to a removal spell. Oh, did we do it? I think we did it. Oh. This here Anakin guide. I knew most of the lyrics to that song once upon a time. We listened to a lot of Weird Al growing up, believe it or not. Don't mention Game Boy Color because you look like an old man, but it reminds me that I'm about your age. Hand seems pretty okay. Needs to draw some more lands, but we have Rix Maadi to hopefully cycle us through. All the 26 to 30-year-olds showing their age. 92. Gosh, 92. I was 1 in 92. The spectacle cost on Rix Maadi does not trigger hero. The color identity of this card is always just red. I am 28. I have a January birthday. I've been, for those of you that are confused by my age, just rest easy knowing that I have been an angry old man since I was 17. It's not that you were wrong about my age, it's just that you didn't realize that this is the character I play on TV. So I think I lead on Consume here, because it plays around Dive Down. This does get Disdainful Stroked, which we saw last game, but I think I'm okay with that, because if this gets Disdainful Stroked, then my Seraph of the Scales isn't getting Disdainful Stroked. I love the people that responded to that tweet telling me I shouldn't have tagged them. Like, don't say stupid stuff if you don't want me to quote you on it later. I'll say that's not on me. That's not on me. The spectacle animation is not visible to the opponents. It is a one-sided animation. My favorite is when people would be like, someone would post something really stupid on Reddit, and I would tweet a picture of their Reddit post, and people would be like, you shouldn't put their username in that. I was like, they posted it on a public forum. If they didn't want something tied to their username, they probably shouldn't have posted it on a public forum. Maybe I've missequenced here. Do I want to offer this trade? I think I want to offer this trade and hold these cast downs. You're low-key saying that your fans should harass them. No, I'm not. If someone posts something incredibly stupid on an online forum where thousands of people visit, they're low-key inviting everybody who happens across that forum to harass them. Have a little personal accountability. Drakari, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Like, I don't know, you posted your comment on a subreddit that's got 100,000 people subscribed to it, but me tweeting it with my 12,000 Twitter followers is creating a mob? I don't know. You posted in a place that has way more reach than my Twitter account. That doesn't sound like it's on me. Who's harassing people on Twitter, Kyle? Scribebug, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Oh no! Rude. Rude. Yikes, their pair beats my pair. Do I play this and draw a card? I think I'm gonna hold on to this because I can spectacle it next turn. The Drake has dove in way down. Way down. Swing low. Sweet chariot, come along to carry me home. I'm probably supposed to block there. I'm probably supposed to block there. Hey, Gunner's Dream, thanks for the 6 months. Usually only catch on YouTube, but drop it into resub. Well, thanks for keeping me around. I'm glad you enjoy the YouTube stuff. Oh, I tapped all my white sources. Oh, okay, not punished. Not punished, at least. I definitely should have blocked with this last turn. Hopefully it doesn't matter. And Mac, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate it. Welcome. I don't use Twitter, and from an outside perspective, it appears that Twitter is for harassing people and publicly announcing moronic government policy. It's for shaming small businesses. That's the... I'm gonna die to a shock here. I deserve to die to a shock. I definitely should have jump blocked with this last turn. This is 6, 7, 8. The best part about Twitter is getting support from businesses that have messed up without having to actually call them myself. I also post deck lists there. So during the stream, I post all of my deck lists. Alright, don't shock me. If I die to shock, it's my fault, because I could have jump blocked with the spirit token. Rix Maadi punched the clock and went to work. Yeah, you should not use Yelp. Yelp basically extorts people to like get good reviews on their stuff. How are we doing, folks? Welcome. Thanks for hanging out here today. My name is Jeff Logan. We're hanging out, playing some Magic, shooting the breeze. Remember, if you enjoy standard best of 3 constructed, it's definitely a channel for you. We play a ton of different decks here. We usually rotate decks every 60 to 90 minutes to get a lot of variety here. As always, a shout out to my wonderful subs. I wouldn't be here day in and day out without their wonderful support. I also like to shout out some of my wonderful sponsors here. The Nerd Rage Gaming Championship Series, a $5,000 cash tournament series that happens every single month in the Midwestern United States. If you can't make it out to play in one of their standard, modern, or legacy tournaments, be sure to check out their streaming coverage as well at twitch.tv/NRG series. Lucid Audio is the company that produces my wonderful headset here. And if you want to get a modular headset of your own, you can check them out at lucidsound.com, and you can save 20% plus get free shipping with code TEMPO. Neo provides wonderful candy-flavored protein bars using code Hoagland at bit.ly/HoagleBar. You can save 10% on all of your purchases there with them. And, of course, I'd like to welcome everyone out there to Hoaglandia. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now, and I appreciate you dropping in to spend part of your day here with us. We're heading on into our second match with this Mardu Hero deck and see how things continue to shake out. The Neo bars are perfect for snacking. Let me find my box here. I actually need to order some more because I'm out. I believe... where'd my box go? I'm pretty sure they're 90 calories a bar. They are not a meal replacement bar. They are just more for snacking. I think I'm going to put this into play tap tier and plan to go hero on 2, double footlight on 3. Hopefully triple footlight on 3. Man, could you imagine if we get to curve trip footlight into Judy? Rats. Some of the old guard kind of rotated through. Anoronics and Justin are still here on occasion, but they were more modern folks, so they haven't been around quite as much since we've been doing more arena. How many clicks would I run on the Banefire list? Probably just 1. If you look on my Twitter account or you pop into the subscriber Discord, the Tower Knight, I posted pictures of a tentative deck list in both of those places. Yeah, I don't diet. I'm a fat American. I just kind of see foods and I eat it. But the bars are advertised as keto friendly, which I believe means low carb, but I don't know the details on that. All the nutrition information is on the website, the bit.ly Hugo bar. Keto is low carb. Look at that. I got it right. Is the Aristocrats deck on my website the most recent or best version trade? It is Rage. Is my preferred build. It doesn't feel right starting bidding wars without him. To be fair, we get through so many decks doing just standard because arena is so much faster than Moto that we don't really have to get into bidding wars too often, right? Has SCTR donated more total subs than me at this point? You know, there isn't a good leaderboard for it, so I don't know offhand. I think he has like 420 around there, a little over 400. I don't remember where you're at, Marty. He's done a lot. Blaze it number of subs. So do I just cast down here? Just to be sure. 442. 442. You know you can gift just one, Marty. Not that I'm gonna complain. Not that. Do not take gift horses and stare into their mouth. What's a one? Poor hero. I wonder if I'm supposed to play Judy there, just because Judy would ensure that if they killed my hero, I'd kill their Terramander, which is kind of appealing. So like now if they don't Lava Coil Judy, they get to kill Terry. Alright, so I'm definitely taking Dive down because I don't want them to be able to protect this. Let's hopefully cycle this Swamp into removal spell and kill this. That's actually pretty good against Cannonade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they can turn this into a 5/5 and start racing. That is sweet. And Tajic, I can run all of these out because Tajic insulates my other 2 creatures from Fiery Cannonade here. So like they go to 10. They Cannonade, they take 1 down to 9, and then they take 5 over here. So we're almost winning this race. Yikes. Resolves. Dang it, Bobby! Dang it, Bobby! Ah! They got us. We thought we had them, but little did we know they were playing us like a fiddle, chat. They had our number. They knew what was going on the whole time. They were just confirming if Arena worked appropriately. They were just bug testing. It is a beta, chat. They were beta testing. Oh, the mana in this deck. One red source, please. One of your finest red sources, please. Yikes. No, Scary Terry brought his twin. Are we done? I think we're done, right? This is again one of the types of hands that you won't keep under the new London Mulligan rule because you'll know that your top card isn't a land, so you'll mulligan to 5 trying to find lands. The dude rants with the Prime support. Thank you very much. Thanks for keeping me around. Welcome back. Oh. Yeah, I really just feel like these Mardu aggro decks need to pick a base 2 colors and just splash very lightly into the third. All of these builds are just, they have so many different color demands so early, they just can't efficiently play their spells most games. It's too color intensive too soon. A lot of the 3 color decks are base 2 splash a third, whereas like this deck basically wants all 3 colors of mana very quickly. Oh, they kept a no lander. Okay. Yeah, looking at what the London Mulligan has the potential to do, I'm hoping it'll be less of we shrug and go, well, magic happened this game. Song of Freylays. I think if I was the opponent, I probably would have conceded before they discarded to hand size. I probably also wouldn't have kept 6 with no lands on the play, but, you know. We only started playing recently. Has Wizards of the Coast always been proactive about trying to change the game / reduce variance to make it more watchable? Or is that after the success of Hearthstone that the watchability factor came to the forefront? Thanks for the 7 months, Life Guardian. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Can we call you Dr. Hoagland? I do not have a PhD. Although I have been an actual professor before. I don't know exactly what the opponent's doing. Let's try this. I think more recently with the success of Hearthstone and other things in the esports space, Wizards definitely become more conscious in recent years of trying to make the game more watchable from a viewer perspective. Ever thought about going for one? I have actually looked into PhD programs. And I think at some point in a future life where being a meme on Twitch no longer pays my bills, that might be something that I explore doing. I do enjoy school. My master's degree is a science degree. Why would I ever give up the meme dream? Obanaga, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate it. Welcome. Why would I ever give up the meme? Well, so I haven't been... This has only been my job for like a year, right? And like 3 years ago, streaming on Twitch wasn't really a job people could have for the most part. And like, who knows if Twitch will still exist in 5 years, or maybe people will be sick of me, or maybe Magic will finally die. Maybe the 400th thing that's going to kill Magic will actually kill Magic. I'm a realist, which is just a nice word for a pessimist. So I always, you know, make plans and have backup plans, etc., etc. Hope for the best, plan for the worst. My opponent has died. Getting a PhD is a great way to bring one's self-esteem plummeting to earth. If you plan for the worst, you will never be disappointed. Ain't that the truth, Holy Flab? The key to exceeding your expectations is to make sure they're low to begin with. Aim low, reach your goals, avoid disappointment. Sobering advice from the local high school guidance counselor. Shoot wildly into the dark and maybe or hit something has sort of been how I've lived my life. God bless. Usually you hit the sub gift button, so like that's a nice shot. That's a nice place for your shot to hit. The people saying decks could possibly get warped around the Mulligan rule, like, what was it, Pat, I think it was, Ben Stark or Pat Cox or some big, one of the Magic pros other Magic pros that I follow on Twitter, and they were like, you should bet on me for the London PT, because based on reading everyone else's timelines, they all plan to Mulligan to 5 every game. And it's just like, y'all do realize that mulliganing still puts you down cards. It still puts you behind, right? Like, it makes it less bad, but it's still not a good thing. And that's why it's a good change, almost certainly, I think, because it takes something that normally takes games and makes them not happen and turns them into a, well, this is fine style moment. What about in Vintage Dredge? Alright, all I have to tell you about Vintage Dredge is that if you're playing Vintage, you are probably used to an unreasonable amount of degeneracy anyways, and this isn't gonna change that. I really like Buffalo Chicken. Thanks for the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Don't blame the Mulligan rule because Bazaar of Baghdad should have been banned a decade ago. Don't blame the Mulligan rule because there's cards that are legal. I've heard people talking about it making Tron too good. Don't blame the Mulligan rule because Ancient Stirring should have been banned a decade ago. Like, stop it. Get out of here. If you can win by mulliganing into Oblivion to get a specific card, it's not the Mulligan rule, that's a problem. Completely agree. Completely and wholeheartedly agree. This is a good example of a way you can beat up mono blue. And this is, when people talk about mono blue too much, I think they're just trying to dirtle too much. One of the best ways to beat mono blue is just be proactive. Just run them down. Oh no, the new Mulligan rule will let Tron assemble Tron on turn 3 or 4 most games. What a change of pace. Oh. Any reason why you wanted to play the second Judith before attackers? That's a good question. So the second Judith would die immediately due to the legendary rule, causing it to deal damage to 2 of my opponent's 1 toughness creatures. So the second Judith triggers itself and the first Judith and would give me 2 1-point triggers to assign. That's a good question. Thank you for asking. In my opinion, as someone who plays a lot of Magic and Modern especially, the only decks that are going to get much worse under this new Mulligan rule are decks that are terrible and were only winning games because their opponents stumble and die with some consistency. Decks that are genuinely good are all going to be fine because they're going to get to execute their genuinely good game plan more consistently. Also, I believe, and someone can cite a source if I'm wrong on this, I am pretty confident that they have never tested a Mulligan rule at a Pro Tour before and not implemented that Mulligan rule afterwards. Does anybody know? Has that ever happened? Have they ever tested a Mulligan rule and not concluded this was good, let's change to it? The two times they've tested... No, they're testing it at a Modern PT, Burgle. They know it's good for Standard. They want to test it at Modern at a high level to make sure it doesn't mess the format up. I think it's actually really smart. It has the most danger of being busted in these older formats, so testing it in the place where it could most likely ruin things is ideal. We're on our second or third Paris, Vancouver, London. Now London. Yeah, we're currently on the Vancouver Mulligan rule. So, I think I start by attacking for 3, and then we're gonna play a Footlight Fiend and then cast down on their turn. What was the... and someone can quote me. Don't quote me on this, but feel free to cite a source if I'm wrong. I believe the original Mulligan rule was you only got to Mulligan by revealing your hand and showing if you had all lands or all spells. So what? That resolved? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. I wasn't prepared for that to resolve. All right. Yeah, that's, yep. That is correct. Yep. And then the rule that they changed that to was they changed it to the rule where you could mulligan like we do now, but you don't get a scry. And then they changed it to adding a scry. So they're slowly reducing variance via mulligans, historically speaking, as Magic's progress. Pretty good one. All right, let's try one more here. I feel like my takeaway is going to be the same as the last couple times we tried this archetype, which is that like games like that where we get to like cast our spells and play Magic feel really good, right? And it makes sense that like we're playing a bunch of powerful spells, so when we can cast them, it's good for us. But it really feels like there's just enough games where like our mana base is inconsistent that I don't think this is something I would want to take to a tournament that I cared about. I think I have to mulligan this on the play. I think aggro decks should mostly stick to 2 colors. I think decks in general that are 3-color decks should be base 2 colors, splash a 3rd. So a good example of that is the Teamer Climb deck that I've played, right? Like that deck is a blue-green deck with some worms at the top end, so it doesn't matter if you're missing red for a little while. Sultai mid-range in this current format. It is base with a small blue splash. In fact, one of the reasons Esper Control is actually beatable in the format, he says as he's playing against Esper, is because Esper Control is a deck that's full on 3 colors. It's playing Absorb and it's playing Kaya's Wrath. So there's a lot of games where the Esper deck just doesn't get to cast its spells because its mana happens to not work. Please cast Thought Erasure. Please cast... Yes! Ah! Eat that! Ain't got no thoughts to erase, opponent! Ain't nobody got any thoughts over here, okay? You could say we're a thought not seer. Would you describe my opponent as a thought not seer? Is that an accurate descriptor? Because they saw no thoughts. I feel like that's where we're at. All right, I'm willing to trade this. I'm not willing to trade this. What happened with this specific standard format to make 3-color decks inherently harder or worse than 2-color decks with a splash that we currently have? I don't understand your question. It makes it... Make 3-color decks inherently harder or worse than 2-color base decks with a splash, whereas other standard formats, they work just fine. Extra fixing is involved too. So, like, think back to the last time we were in RTR, Sylvan Caryatid was a card that was legal. As someone who's registered Sylvan Caryatid more times than he cares to mention, Sylvan Caryatid enables some messed up things. Farseek, Birds of Paradise, things like this make it much easier to play full-on colors. Sylvan Caryatid, there's a magic card I miss. There's a magic card I miss playing. Farseek was real good too. Green decks base green decks basically got to play rainbow colors. Five-color mono green, yep. Unfortunately, it's looking like our mold of 5 that, like, got him with the thought erasure. We're kind of puttering out here. So, Incubation Druid isn't fixing. Incubation Druid, like, smooths out... Nice, Militia Bugler. Incubation Druid smooths out your second source of a color, but, like, it doesn't make the first color, right? So, like, Sylvan Caryatid can be fixing for Frilled Mystic or Jade Light Ranger or Rekindling Phoenix, but it's not actual fixing in the same way Sylvan Caryatid was. Generally speaking, Screw beats Flood. More discard spells like this are why I proactively utilized my Lava Coil last turn, so I didn't want to leave it stranded in my hand. This deck doesn't have a catch-up mechanic. Hey, Greg, thanks for the 7 months. So, that's one of the biggest issues with archetypes like this, is the lack of an ability to catch up when you flood out like this is a big deal. We basically just sit here and don't have any way to utilize all these lands, and that's why so many of the successful mid-range decks in the format play Hydroid Crisis, because Hydroid Crisis gives you this ability to spend your mana when you flood out like this. I take one more shot at a removal spell here on Thief. We can definitely cast our spells. You're not wrong. Yeah, Hostage Taker is another tool that kind of lets you, like, use your mana. For sure. Alright, Lava Coil sounds great. Mortify sounds great. Cast Down sounds great. Banefire seems clunky. Tajic's got First Strike, so he probably is okay here. Tocatli Honor Guard's probably pretty good against their Hostage Taker deck, right? They have Militia Bugler as well. Sounds quite good. And trim a hero since I'm boarding out a bunch of multicolored things. Stand up here for a bit. Oh. I trimmed one of each. This curve's great. 2, 3, 4. How do I source my sponsors? So, some of my sponsors are picked up through my Tempo Storm scroller down there at the bottom, so they have folks that work at finding advertisers. Some of my advertisers I find naturally. I like products, and I reach out to people who have products that I like to advertise. And then I also work with an advertising agency called Endorse that hooks up Twitch streamers with sponsors. A lot of different ways that we come into each other. I don't have many thoughts. Huh. I think I'm actually going to do this here, because I don't want to get my I don't want to get my Scales hostage takered here. Thanks, Bryce. I've pinged Panera and Chipotle on social media a couple of times. Alas, we're not quite that big yet. Look at that. Look at that. Played around the old hostage taker. I always love the solid no sir animation that Tocatli gives. Just like, nope. Your trigger is gone into the aether. Man, look at all these 4-mana 2-power creatures. Let's do it. Get in there. Nice 4-mana 2-2. My 2-2 cost half as much as it has haste, opponent. What's your excuse? Yep, still about to lose this card. Still about to lose this one. So I'm gonna sack one of these, because if I draw Rix Maadi, I want to draw 3 with it. I think we're dead. I think we're dead. Wow, yikes. Oddity Llama, thank you for the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. You ever watch other Magic streams? I do. Day 9 often streams in the afternoons, about the time that I'm wrapping up, so I often have him on when I finish. My buddy Matt also streams in the afternoon, so usually I do about an hour to 2 hours worth of work after I stop being live, so I watch other streams during that time. I also try to make a point to, like, poke into every other major Magic streamer, like Nox and Caleb and Newmont and all those, just, like, get ideas and see what other people in the industry are doing. You know, beg, borrow, steal. Take good ideas other people have implemented it and put my own twist on them. Because other people who are being successful are successful for a reason, so you should always mirror people who are as good or better than you. Can't hurt to always be improving. Yeah, I think my takeaway on this is the same that it's always been. And if you look at this deck, so like, if you look at this, if I pull the hero out of here, this is basically a red-black aggro deck with this top end. And from that perspective, I think red-black aggro splash like an okay flyer is okay, except Rekindling Phoenix is already red and black, right? Like, Spawn is already red and black. The problem with a card like Hero is that you can't just splash white in a Hero deck, because this is a card that you ideally want to cast before you cast the rest of your cards. So, like, if you can't cast this card consistently on 2, it loses a lot of its power. And so having this card in what's otherwise a base, I do subscribe to Matt, in what's otherwise a base red-black deck feels incredibly awkward. And I just feel like the power level that you're gaining from being able to leverage this card is not worth the level of awkwardness it institutes an otherwise reasonable red-black aggro shell. So these Mardu decks pretty consistently have the same takeaway. They feel great when I can play my spells on curve. I'm like, everything's coming into motion for us. But there's just too many games where I can't cast my spells consistently on curve. And this feels awkward because of that. What about a red-white aggro deck splashing Judith? I actually haven't played a variation that plays like that, and maybe that's a reasonable way to do it. People often talk about unclaimed territory, and Judith's a card you could splash off unclaimed territory, definitely. Hey.